Dear Hands on Gloves, Amber has been in our family for 33 years. As a pasture mare, shedding presents unique challenges for us, especially with Amber's age. Your gloves allowed us to spend some time making her feel pampered. They not only massaged her tired muscles and relaxed her, but they also bring out the best in our special girl. They removed the hair dirt and dander and brought out that gorgeous, glossy coat that gave her the name Amber all those years ago. Thank you, Hands on Gloves, for making our old girl shine.
Cameron Kickletter here for HT TV show coverage, and today I'm joined by Lara Ames. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for letting me do this. We have so much fun doing it, so thank you.
Well, thank you.
So we're here at the show, and we've been doing a lot of videos to really promote Experience Arabian Horses. They are our main show coverage sponsor, so we've talked to horse show moms about, how the Arabian horse has enriched their lives and the lives of their family. We've talked to lesson programs, with the intent of really promoting the breed and making it accessible to people. And you and I were talking a little bit off camera about, how for us that really starts at our horse shows, and some of the importance of making it accessible for people. And so I just wanted to ask you a little bit. I know there's a lot happening in the industry right now, and so I just wanted to open it up to you to hear your thoughts on some of the recent events.
My father, whom has passed on, the biggest thing for him was introducing the Arabian horse to new people. And when I say that, through events, lesson programs, he was all about coming up with ways to get new people involved. So that's how the whole idea of Experience started. And basically my family foundation, that's what, one of our major, between medical stuff, is raising money for the Arabian horse through that avenue, is introducing new people. So I personally would like to see, it's really easy to get behind a keyboard and type away, I feel like.
Right.
Not everybody can have the time to volunteer and do everything, but somehow, some way, AHA they have to hear the voices of the people that are making it happen, and everybody can't do what's best for them. They got to look at the whole big picture. And
right.
I myself personally am like, okay, I do it for a living. I go to horse shows. I own a magazine, so I own
right.
a farm.
You're very in touch. You have your finger kind of on the pulse of the industry.
I was saying, if you look at the whole big picture, if you go to Scottsdale, if you go to the Midsummer Youth Nationals, and then you go to U.S. Nationals, that's a month's vacation.
At least.
That's just going and, just coming in for the whole time. That's a month's vacation.
Right.
People got to pay for this, so it's getting back to making it fun, not, we're losing people because of in my opinion, because of the length of our events, that there's other ways and it's a very expensive hobby. Most people don't do this as a profession. It's a hobby, and it's a very, very expensive hobby. And if the length of it gets long, the time of it gets long, if the show starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think I heard them say tomorrow they're starting the show at 7:30, goes till 10 o'clock at night. That's long days for people. So what do we do to put some fun back into it? And I guess that's where I feel like AHA and the people that have all these opinions, we all need to join forces together. And what are we going to do as a group? Because we all love the Arabian horse.
Right.
And what is good for one is not good for the other, maybe, but what are we going to do to make the industry better?
Yeah, and you make a good point, because I think it's easy, when everyone has that opinion, it may differ from somebody else's. And I think getting back to this understanding that we're all on the same team here, we're all working for the same thing, which is to really promote and preserve what we do. We all love to do this. It's like you're saying, it's our hobby. Many of us spend a month, if not longer, a year doing this and going to shows and supporting it, at whatever level you're at, whether you're an entry rider, whether you're going to nationals. So is there anything in particular that stands out to you immediately as far as like how to really inject that fun and kind of making this accessible? Is there anything that stands out to you?
I have a passion for the Arabian horse. I guess, I've never rode in any other. I guess for a short while I did some saddlebred stuff, but I really just focus in on the Arabian breed. And so I have a love and concern for it. Lesson barns, I think they're super important. How can we help people start lesson barns? Having events where there's large spectators at it. Having Arabian horses there so they can touch, feel, experience, like we call it, experience an Arabian horse. That's where my energy lies. And I will do everything in my power to keep promoting the Arabian horse to new people. But I feel as a mass, we have to work together once we get these people in it, that they have a direction and a follow to go. But we got to get back to the grassroots and make it fun, affordable, and enjoyable for the people starting out. For me, and I've probably been more vocal than I've ever been in my lifetime, but there's so much energy and time spent on doing this, and this. But the convention process, where all these decisions are made, we've made a lot of changes in the breed, but we've never made changes to our convention process. I'm not saying, okay, I have all the answers, but somehow we have to bring the membership together to figure out what is best for the breed. And I think convention, obviously, if it's however they go about getting what the industry needs to have happen or what is good for the industry, they have to get to the core of the people that are spending the money to make it happen, because without the money to do things, the AHA is a business. It's not they just can't do what's in the best interest for everybody. I'm not saying any show has to go away, but how do we make it so we don't keep losing people to the breed and we keep growing the breed?
You talk about people working together. It's about having that common unified vision. And so I'm curious for you, like when you look forward, what is the vision that you have for what the Arabian horse can be?
Oh my gosh, you look at our quality of horses. If you go, I don't care what anybody says, like the quality is amazing. We're breeding less horses, but the quality is amazing. The people are smarter breeders, but we got to take care of the breeders, because without breeders, we don't have a product. And so that's promoting the breed in a positive way, but you can't ask all of the people on the higher end, and I know some people will get offended when I say this, to support it for everyone. Like, we have to come together as a group. I am all for the new people beginning it, but I want it to be fun for them. I don't think a horse show should have 100 classes in a day to make it, so everybody can get qualified for something. And that's what happens is now they're talking about the qualifications deal. I don't think that we should be making any major changes in the industry right now. I think obviously we're just coming off from COVID. Everybody's economy, the state of the world is in a different state than it's been. Let's just go back, sit back, think of what we can do to promote the breed, because Cedar Ridge has a lesson program. I can tell you it went through the roof when the COVID happened, because that was one of the only activities that kids that used to do activities inside, they still could go outside and ride a horse.
It was a safe option to where you're not surrounded by people, you're on a horse,
I just don't want any major decisions made until they put some, studies together and really go back to their mission and vision statements of AHA. And I encourage any member to go back, and if they can't find it, message me. I'll send it to them. I have it. Go back to the mission and vision of AHA. A few years ago, AHA, I did I think it was in the Times, but I got the information from AHA. The average age of a horse that competed at nationals was like 13 years old or something. Well, if they got to go to all these shows to qualify to get there,
that's a lot of wear and tear on your horse.
And again, expenses. The vets, the farrier, it's just, again, we're going to lose people. So let's analyze before we make any major decisions.
Yeah.
And so myself personally, I've been pretty vocal, but I'm always the most positive person. I'll dig in. I'll do whatever they need to do to help promote the Arabian horse. I just don't want us to make any drastic decisions.
Yeah. I
and
agree.
It's a business. AHA is
people
a
have
business.
to remember that.
Yeah.
That it has to be sustainable.
Correct.
Financially sustainable, operationally sustainable, and something that we can do year after year, and not be turning people away or, creating an environment that people are not wanting to be a part of.
Yeah, and for me personally, the time issue is a big, you just only have, so if they change the qualifications and you got to go to all these Class A shows, and then already the three, let's call it the three major shows, now you maybe have some other shows involved in it, but if you're already missing a month of work for that, wow. I mean, my dad always used to say, how are we going to pay to do all this? You got to work. And I feel that way, and I make my living, but I just flew in yesterday for the show because I had to stay home and work and do some other things that weren't affiliated with this.
Yeah. So switching gears a little bit then, and this will probably be the last thing we go over, is, HGTV has been something that the Times has introduced this year, and it's something that I am incredibly passionate about because I think it is a big step towards making this accessible to people. And people might not know that one of the things that we try and do in most of our videos is to make it to where anybody can watch it and find it entertaining. Whether you're an Arabian person, whether you're a horse person, we're an entertainment industry when it comes down to it. We're entertainment, we're a hobby. And so, you were talking about making it fun at horse shows, making it fun for people who aren't at horse shows, feeling that they can be involved. And so I think continuing to invest in things like this and to make this fun and accessible. I cannot tell you the number of people who have come up to us who have had a great time either watching the videos or being in it. And this is just the beginning. I think there's so many other things that we can do outside of this that promotes the breed, it brings new people in, it makes it more accessible, and it has people feel like this is something that they can do. All of a sudden it's not this big, scary financial investment. It's attainable and it's accessible to people.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. Like, it's just the exposure to the horse is, on so many levels people can experience with a horse some way, somehow. And then when you take an Arabian, they're known for their versatility. So we have all these divisions that they can do, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful doing it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of bringing it all back around, getting back to experience Arabian horses, you're right, there's so many disciplines. And to me, whether you're trying to go to nationals or local shows, whether it's sport horse or saddle seat, there's a place for everyone. And there's that entry point, go to a lesson barn, find a farm near you, go just hang out, again, making this accessible to people. And so, I think there's really great people in the industry who are doing a lot of really great things, yourself included. And, I just want to champion those people. And, for everyone else in the industry, I say go find those people, ask how you can support them. Like we talked to lesson programs yesterday, and people after we did the video were messaging me still like, oh, I thought of something else, like tack. We always need tack. So if you have old tack, please give it to a lesson program. If you have a horse that's, retiring but may have a few more years, donate it to a lesson program. Right, like there's so many ways to get involved, and I think this goes back to what you're saying. Like, don't just sit behind a keyboard. Get involved. Really go out and do something.
Yeah, and like if you look at the industry as a whole, like the halter, say you're interested in the halter industry part of it, but still they got to get people filtered in. So I think lesson programs are so important because you always need that door revolving of one person coming in, one person coming out. So important.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. It's always a great conversation with you. So thank you so much.